everyone, welcome back. You must be wondering why I am back with the same thumbnail. So yesterday I posted a video where I was to discuss the concept of time, solar time, local time. We talked about DST, time zones, we talked about IDL, why is it not a straight line? Elapsed time calculation, but we forget to talk about jet lag. That's why I am back with the same topic. So in this video we are going to talk about jet lag certainly, but before that let's have a quick revision of everything that we have discussed in the previous video also. So let's begin. First of all, we talked about the rotation of earth. It takes one spin in every 24 hours and it completely moves 360 degree. That is how we calculated that between two longitude lines there's a difference of 4 minutes of time. So that is the solar time of a place, the local time, the time when sun rises or sun sets at a place. So we found that at every meridian there's a different time of sunset and sunrise. So that is solar time that we calculate with by observing the position of earth with respect to sun. We have various observatories in India. The Jantar Mantar Observatory constructed by Jai Singh II is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. He's constructed 5 such Jantar Mantars in India. We have many observatories. So we talked about the local time of a place, the solar time of a place. Then we talked about the standard time. So we cannot really afford so many times as per the longitude lines, as per the sunset and sunrise of a place. So we have a standard time for a particular region that is based on the Greenwich Mean Time. So there's a place Greenwich that falls on 0 degree longitude in United Kingdom. Okay, so that is taken as the reference point, that is called prime meridian, and it is mean time at the place Greenwich. It is also known as universal time coordinates, UTC. So regions east of this is plus these, that is ahead of the time at Greenwich, and regions west to this are behind the time at Greenwich. So that is the concept of time zone, from where time concept of time zone has come. So time zone is basically the region where we observe same time. Okay, so there's UTC. Countries to east are UTC plus 1 plus 2. For example, India has UTC 5.5, that is 5 hours 30 minutes, UTC plus 5:30. So we are 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of time at Greenwich, and on the west we have UTC minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Okay, so that is the concept of time zone. When we discussed about IDL also, why international date line is not a straight line. So it is a zigzag line, it is in Pacific Ocean. Okay, so it is 1 degree 180 degree of longitude, and it is not a straight line, it is a zigzag line, not a straight line like the prime meridian that we talked about at Greenwich. We have prime meridian. It is not straight because it is to avoid any confusion of date, because when we cross this line there is a change of date. Okay, so countries east of this line are 1 day ahead and countries to west are 1 day behind. So when we are crossing international date line from east to west, we are gaining a day, and when we are crossing from west to east, we are losing a day. So it is a zigzag line. It is mostly drawn through the sea, so there's no confusion of date in various countries at various land. So that is why it is through sea. That is why it is not a straight line. It is to avoid countries to cut into half. That's why there's no two dates in a same country. So countries, as per their conveniences, as per their choice, has to chosen to remain at east or west side of this line as per their trade relations, as per their choice. It is all up to them. Okay, so that is about the concept of international date line, why it is not straight line. We talked about time zones, and we learned that we have Russia with 11 different time zones that they follow. In US we have 6 different time zones, so countries can have more than one time zones also. The most number of time zones are in France, highest number of time zones. So there are 12 different time zones that are followed by France and its territories all around the world. So highest or the most time zones in the world are in France. And we have talked about this, how slightly the difference is in the time zones. For example, in India we have IST, that is UTC plus 5:30, and the standard time of Nepal is UTC plus 5:45. So there's a difference of only 15 minutes. We have countries with same time zone like Saudi Arabia UTC plus 3, and Russia UTC plus 3. Okay, so we have different, we talked about different time zones of the world. UTC plus 2 for Egypt. Okay, so Pakistan UTC plus 5. There are different time zones. Indian time zone is taken from reference to 82.5 degree of east longitude that crosses through Mirzapur in UP. Okay, so it is taken as the reference point, that is UTC plus 530 is the standard time of India. India falls between the longitude lines of 68 degree 7 minutes to 97 degree 25 minutes. So longitude limits of India are 68 degree 7 minutes to 97 degree 25 minutes. So we cannot really afford 29 different times. So that's why we have taken the standard time from the 82.5 degree of east longitude that crosses through Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, and it is adopted in the year 1947. So Indian standard time IST is UTC plus 530. So we have only one time zones in India. However, some people are in opinion, or some people always say that we should also have two different time zones, because for Northeast there's a difference of time, because they 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 experience sunrise and sunset way before us. So that's why even in Assam tea gardens there's a different time zone that is followed. So we talked about the Central Observatory of India and various other observatories, like we have in Leh, we have one in Nainital. Then we talked about daylight saving time, that is the concept of DST. Many Western countries follow. They move their clocks 1 hour ahead to save the energy, to save the natural light. Okay, so we talked about California, their Pacific daylight time, that is UTC minus 7. Otherwise, the standard time is UTC minus 8. So we have British daylight saving time, we have Irish saving time. So we have different daylight saving time that are daylight saving time, the concept of DST, that is followed in many countries in West. They move their clocks ahead in summers, okay, in March, and they then get it back in 1 hour back in November. So concept of DST. Then we talked about elapsed flying time, how to calculate it. So when there's a flight that is moving between two different time zones, okay, so how to calculate elapsed flight time across two different time zones. So we have to convert basically local time into GMT. That we can do by simply, we have to note the time zone of that place. Okay, so if it is -5, then we have to add it. If it is plus, then we have to subtract that number. For example, departure time is 6 p.m. at New York and time zone of New York is GMT -5. Then we have to add this 5 into 6, that we get 11 p.m. Okay, and it is +1, then we have to minus it, we have to subtract it from 7:30, that is the arriving time. Then we get 6:30 a.m. Okay, so likewise, if India is 5:30 UTC plus 5:30 time zone, then we have to subtract this 5:30 from the local time of India to get that of GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, the UTC. Okay, so that is the concept, how to convert local time into GMT. We have to simply take the time zone, and if it is minus, then we have to add that number. If the time zone is plus, then we have to subtract that number. So that is how we've found that 23 hours it is converted into 24 hours clock. So 1 hour is left from day one, and flight is reaching next day 7:30 a.m. So that is in GMT it is just 6:30 a.m. Okay, so 6.5 hours of next day and 1 hour of the first day, we get total 7 hours 30 minutes to reach this flight from New York to Munich in Germany. So that was the concept of elapsed flying time. Okay, then we missed the concept of jet lag. Jet lag is basically the sleeping disorder. Okay, it is just a temporary disorder wherein we experience, there's a insomnia, condition of insomnia, fatigue, or vomiting. So that is a sleeping disorder we experience when we are traveling between different time zones. So we have our body clock, okay, that doesn't get sync with the time zone of a place. So that's why we experience this, that is jet lag. Jet lag is a disorder, temporary disorder, it's a sickness that we experience when we travel across different time zones. So we get fatigue, we got insomnia, condition of insomnia, we are not able to sleep. So that is the concept of jet lag. So to avoid this, we can stay hydrated, we can limit the intake of caffeine or alcohol, we can minimize the consumption of that, and we can exercise, we can take regular walks, we can have suntan, okay, so we can enjoy sunlight, bright light therapy, we have to eat light, we have to wear light, we can take a shower, we can even take some melatonin, okay, so there's a supplement that you can use. And we can also plan ahead, so before going to a place we know that we are going to different time zone, we can adjust our sleeping order, our daily life order according to our plan, so that is how we can avoid this condition. So it's a very natural, it's a temporary condition wherein we experience fatigue, vomiting, insomnia. So it's a disorder then that can affect those who are quickly traveling across multiple time zones, and it is very much natural. That is called jet lag, or we can call it um jet lag, the condition of jet lag, fatigue, okay. So it is also known as desynchronosis, okay, or so it's just that your body's own internal clock, that is circadian rhythm, that signals or your body when to stay awake, when to sleep, that gets affected with the different times. It doesn't get sync with the time zones that you are traveling in. So you can also call it flight fatigue, okay. You can also call it desynchronosis, as I said, desynchronosis or flight fatigue or jet lag is the same thing. It's a temporary disorder that causes fatigue, insomnia. So it's a condition, it's a body condition, it's a sickness that you can get while traveling across different time zones. So it is considered as circadian rhythm sleep disorder. Okay, so it is just the disruption of the internal clock, body's internal clock. You will feel anxiety, constipation, confusion. Okay, so there's nausea, irritation, difficulty in concentration, sweating. Okay, so these are the different problems that you can experience: dizziness, fatigue, okay, memory loss. So it's just a sickness. Children and babies can also suffer the same jet lag symptoms as adults. So there's no need of a medical evaluation or a diagnosis for a lag, okay. If you have traveled across several time zones and feel those symptoms associated with jet lag, you likely have it. If your symptoms of jet lag are severe, then do not go away after a few days, or you have any other concern, see a doctor, okay. So you get recover from jet lag. It depends on number of time zones crossed while traveling. Generally, body will adjust to the new time zone at the rate of 1 or 2 time zones per day. For example, if you crosses 6 time zones, the body will typically adjust to this time change in 3 to 5 days. Okay. So if you have traveled across 6 time zones, then it will be adjusted in 3 to 5 days. So that is how this condition can get right. But sometimes complications of jet lag are so complication in jet lag are very rare that you will gain any complication, you will get any complication, okay. But if a person has pre-existing heart condition, the stress of the disruption in the circadian rhythm combined with the stress of travel, the high altitude and immobility during flight may result in heart attack, okay. So if the jet lag result in chronic sleep deprivation, stroke may occur in certain predisposed individuals. So that is the concept of time zone, and different concept of time and jet lag, that is the flight fatigue that you can get if you are crossing if across multiple time zones. So that's the end of video. I hope you understand. Stay tuned to our channel, keep watching our videos. Thank you, have a great day.